High performance versus high achievement. What is the difference? So over the last, 20 years of my life, I have not realized this point that I'm going to make today. And after reflecting on what it takes to show up to be the best version of the self of your horse, not so that you can have six-pack abs. If you want six-pack abs, great, but more so that you show up with mental focus, clarity, strength both in and out of the saddle, and can ensure that you are being the best version of yourself for your horse, because guess what? They mirror the performance back at you. They have this amazing ability to mirror exactly what's happening around them. So if you're showing up in that version, in that high performance version, every single interaction that you're going to have with any horse is going to feel like progress. This is what I'm going to cover in today's episode. Welcome to the Female Rider Code. For those of you that are new, I'm Nika, and I am on a mission to inspire equestrian females to take full control of their health, and that there is always a why, there is always a solution. I've done this with not only my own health as someone who has PCOS, 3 out of the 4 types, suffered with debilitating period pain from the age of 18 to the age of 30. I really wish the stuff that I knew now, the knowledge, the tools, and these 3 pillars of health, if I knew this at 18, oh my God, just think about the amount of, not pleasure, but the amount of no pain, suffering, and anxiety that I went through with my menstrual cycle every single month for those years would have been gone. And this is what I want to help not only the young girls that are going through their cycle and learning about their menstrual cycle, but to inspire the women that are going through perimenopause and menopause, the postmenopause, that your body is always talking to you. You know this, I know this, you are a self-aware person. You wouldn't be listening to this today if you didn't already know that there's something missing, that despite your best efforts, that despite you trying everything, it's not working, and something is not working. No matter the supplement, no matter the colonoscopy expert, nothing against them, no matter the teen diet, the cutting out carbs, the vegan diet, the calorie counting, it's not working in your body. You can't get rid of that layer of pouch that's there when you do up your jods or your breeches, and you're like sitting down on your horse going, why do I feel so bloated? Why is my energy crashing? I'm addicted to sugar. If this sounds like any of you and you're thinking it's frustrating and frankly peeing you off, because by nature you are a high achiever and by nature you are a high performer, you are disciplined, you focus so much on improving your health, and yet you feel like you're getting nowhere, this is for you. So high achiever is performance achieving. This is what I've been doing most of my life when I was a competitive athlete in the equestrian field. So being a flat jockey, there was a race to prepare for. Working horses from novice up to Prix St. George, there was competitions along the way, qualifiers, nationals, international competitions that we were preparing for. That was performing for an achievement, okay? But there was a key difference. There was a key difference that meant that no matter what the outcome, no matter what the result was, it still did not affect how I showed up. How I showed up every single day, as most equestrian women do, through the struggle, through the pain, the tears, the investment. They show up consistently, and it's for these high performing equestrian women that I'm talking to today, because you guys, you ladies, are my people, okay? I don't need a competition. I'm not training for a competition at all. I'm training for life. I'm training my body, my mind for life, because we know that it happens in life a lot. And it's usually when we least expect it, especially when it comes to horses, that things come crashing down. For me, this actually happened at the pinnacle of my career, as it always does, where I was performing at international level, pre-St. George. I had the opportunity to take a wonderful horse that I'd really trained from novice up to pre-St. George, up to Grand Prix. I'd now worked my way up for the opportunity that was given to me to say, right, you can now take this horse up to Grand Prix. You have to sacrifice and move to another part of the UK. Everything will be paid for. I turned that down, and in doing so, happened to lose my job, my accommodation, and just to top it off, put that cherry on the cake, my boyfriend broke up with me. Thank God, now I look back, it was a blessing. At the time, it was a little bit cold. It was a little bit harsh. It was a tough time for me. The power of 3. I developed adult acne. My face, the amount of the amount of like spots, but they weren't like spots with the head that you could pop. They were these blistering things on my face, lumps that started here and went all the way across. So trying to hide your face when you are a chiropractor, a professional rider, was extremely hard, and I found my confidence was becoming less and less and less. I started to self-doubt everything because I felt like everyone was staring at me. They probably weren't, but because I had this itchy, like massive infection on my face, I was trying to hide it, which only meant that I was drawing more attention to my face. In this lovely process and part of my life that I'm sharing with you now with a smile on my face, I can assure you that it was not a smile on my face going through it. And despite spending hundreds of pounds going to different specialists, doctors telling me that it's PCOS, you're having a flare-up, it's high cortisol, it's stress, take this steroid cream and deal with it and take painkillers. Now, as a high-performing, stubborn person that I am, thank God I was stubborn, because I couldn't accept this. I, in my mind, couldn't accept that this was just me. That this was just part of my life now. You're in your 30s, things are changing, you know, all these myths that are just a bunch of bull, because you know that this is the power to unlocking anything. It's the power to unlocking how you see the world. It's the power to unlocking your growth. It's also the power to unlocking to whether you stay where you currently are or you want to be where you visually know that you can be. And I wouldn't accept it. So I took matters into my own hands. I had more time now. I had no job. I'd relocated. I was sleeping on my dad's spare bed on his mattress on the floor. Not a proud moment at the age of 30, just gonna say. But this is life, and it's a story I can share with you today. I went down the rabbit hole of looking into my health. And I hired coaches. I started to understand what these patterns of my menstrual cycle were actually saying to me. Now, I'm someone who has pushed through a lot of pain in her life. Someone as an equestrian athlete to say, do you know what? Suck it up, push on, don't be weak, don't be a victim, don't moan, just crack on. Okay, if you resonate with this, give me a thumbs up and don't forget to give me a follow and subscribe or comment below. So the pushing through mindset, the pushing through don't show weakness, no pain, no gain kind of thing. Nothing against it. I'm still a strong-minded athlete by heart and by mind. However, it wasn't doing me any favors. I had to seriously stop and understand what was going on. The rabbit hole taught me that my body responded better to whole food. The rabbit hole taught me that as much as I love exercise and challenging myself and growing and being physically fit, it's not about six-pack. It's about being my athlete to my own mind and body, because I feel better when I'm in good shape. I feel incredible. There is something so empowering to not only your inner confidence, but to show up pain-free working with horses when you see everyone around you like trying to pick up a hoof pick and they're like, oh, my back, or they they can't jump off the horse properly, because if they jump down, they have, either like knee problems or hip problems, all of this pain that is associated with horses. Like, I've had so many injuries and falls in my life, and the reason I'm still going strong today in no pain is because this stuff that I'm teaching you in the Female Rider Code works. So I learned about movement. I learned when to slow down, that it's not a weakness, and when to also understand that there's certain phases of my cycle where, yes, your menstrual cycle is a superpower and it's not something to be ashamed of, but when you're suffering with pain and you're suffering with symptoms, sort those symptoms out and your menstrual cycle becomes your superpower. And the third thing is learning how to manage stress. Oh my God, I'm an internalizer. So in this whole kind of avatar created, the strong-minded athlete that I was, I didn't want to show any weakness. I would just suck it up. I'd take a painkiller, whatever, move on to tomorrow's another day. This wasn't good because I could hide it. I could maybe hide it from another person. But guess who I could not hide it from? The horse. The horse mirrors everything. They mirror that internal struggle, that internal fear that is there, that I knew was there, but I didn't want to talk about it. Right? I had to get on with stuff. I had stuff to do. But when you're faced with the truth that there's no other way to turn, you've got to deal with it. That's the only way you can deal with it. And I had to learn how to manage stress a lot better. I had to learn how to become more resilient, not by pushing stuff through, not by blocking my emotion and being embarrassed about being emotional, but to actually understand what those emotions meant and to not react and behave when I was emotional, but to sit in it. To really understand where it was coming from, and to understand that my emotions weren't a weakness. It was my body talking, and that is okay. As an athlete, high performer, that is a superpower when you know how to harness it. So that trivial uncertainty, feeling like I was in the trenches in my life, is where I developed the concept of the Female Rider Code. 3 pillars: nutrition, movement, brain gym, aka stress management. I've put this all together in the book that I've written, which is coming out in 2026, in this year, the year of the horse. It will take you through every single pillar with practical advice, with practical blueprint of how I've not only helped my health, but the health of over 100 equestrian female women around the world. No matter what the age, from 21-year-olds up to 63-year-olds. Some of the most incredible transformations I've had with equestrian women are women in their 60s. Amazing, right? Give them the blueprint, they stick to it, they're already high performers. They like to know a plan that works and just to get on with it. Love working with these kind of women. And if you're that person sat there going, Nika, this is me, comment rider below this video and let's get in contact. Let's have a conversation. That's it from me today. If you have any questions, comment below. And as always, don't forget to give me a follow and a subscribe.